NGOs including the British American Security Information Council, BASIC, a non-proliferation and disarmament think tank, criticized the report for its limited scope and its failure to engage with a wider array of considerations related to nuclear weapons, including environmental and humanitarian issues. 171, 172, the Trident Commission. In 2011, BASIC launched an independent cross-party commission to initiate a deeper national debate on the UK's nuclear weapons policy and examine questions around the contentious issue of Trident renewal. The commission operated under the chairmanship of former Labour Secretary of State for Defence, Lord Brown of Laddighton, former Conservative Defence and Foreign Secretary, Sir Malcolm Rifkind, and Sir Menzies Campbell, former leader of the Liberal Democrats and Shadow Foreign Secretary. 173. After 3 years of deliberation, the Commission released its final report on the 1st of July 2014. It suggested, with important caveats, that the UK should retain a nuclear deterrent. The conclusion acknowledged that it remains crucial that the UK show keen regard for its position within the international community and for the shared responsibility to achieve progress in global nuclear disarmament. 174. BASIC's interpretation of the report also focused on this point, emphasizing that the Commissioners agreed that the health of the global strategic environment, particularly nuclear non-proliferation, is critical to national security and is a central consideration. They talk of the need for Britain to maintain its glide path down towards disarmament, to ensure that the renewal decisions the next government will be taking have consistency with the trajectory set by successive recent governments, and that the UK should continue to be at the forefront of the multilateral disarmament process. 175. Renewal. 2006 Defense White Paper. The Vanguard-class submarines were built with a 25-year life expectancy, taking them into the 2020s. Trident 2D5 missiles are expected to continue in service until at least 2040 following an upgrade. 176. A December 2006 Ministry of Defence White Paper, entitled The Future of the United Kingdom's Nuclear Deterrent, recommended that the nuclear weapons should be maintained and outlined measures that would. Former leader of the opposition Jeremy Corbyn speaks at the #Stop Trident rally at Trafalgar Square on the 27th of February 2016. Do so until the 2040s. It advocated the currently preferred submarine-based system, as it remained the cheapest and most secure deterrence option available. Costs for this option are estimated at £15.20 billion based on £0.25 billion to participate in US Trident D5 missile life extension program. £11.14 billion for a class of 4 new SSBNs. £2.3 billion for refurbishing warheads. £2.3 billion for infrastructure. 177. These 2006/07 prices would equate to about £25 billion for the successor-class submarines as they were provisionally named. The 2011 initial gate report confirmed estimates of £2-3 billion each for gearheads and infrastructure. 178. These cost estimates exclude the Vanguard 5-year life extension and decommissioning, and it is unclear if new Trident missiles will need to be purchased for the life extension program. 179. Running costs would be about £1.5 billion per year at 2006 prices. 179. The paper suggested parts of the existing Trident system be refitted to some extent to prolong the lives. However, the relatively short, 5 years, Life extension potential of the Vanguard class meant that a new class of SSBNs should replace it in the 2020s. The first boat of the new SSBN class would take 17 years to be designed and built, making a 5-year life extension of the Vanguard class necessary. 177. Parliamentary support. A decision on the renewal of Trident was made on the 4th of December, 2006. Prime Minister Tony Blair told EMS it would be unwise and dangerous for the UK to give up its nuclear weapons. He outlined plans to spend up to £20 billion on a new generation of submarines for Trident missiles. He said submarine numbers may be cut from 4 to 3, while the number of nuclear warheads would be cut by 20% to 160. Blair said out half the Cold War had ended. The UK needed nuclear weapons, as no one could be sure another nuclear threat would not emerge in the future. 180. On the 14th of March, 2007, the Labour government won House of Commons support for the plans to renew the submarine system. The proposals were passed by a majority of 248. 181, 182. Despite a clarification that it was just for the concept stage of the new system, 95 Labour MPs rebelled, and it was only passed with support of the opposition Conservative Party. 181, 183. It was the first time MPs had been given the chance to vote on whether the UK should remain a nuclear power, and the biggest rebellion since the beginning of the 2003 Iraq War. 181. The Labour government proposed that the final decision to manufacture should be made in 2014. 184. The new 2010 coalition government agreed that the renewal of Trident should be scrutinised to ensure value for money. Research and development work continued with an initial gate procurement decision, but the main gate decision to manufacture a replacement was rescheduled for 2016, after the 2015 general election. Note 2, 184, the vote on whether to order the successor class was held on the 18th of July, 2016 in the House of Commons. The motion passed with a significant majority, 186. Extending the program's life until at least the 2060s. Although 48 Labour MPs voted against it, 41 did not vote, and 140 Labour votes were cast in favour of the motion. 187. Leanne Wood speaks at the #Stop Trident rally on the 27th of February, 2016. She was arrested on the 8th of January, 2007 for protesting against Fuchs' Trident nuclear missile program at Faznan. 188, 2010 Strategic Defense and Security Review. The 2010 Strategic Defense and Security Review concluded that the successor class submarines would have 8 operational missiles carrying no more than 40 operational warheads between them. This would allow the UK to reduce its stocks of operational warheads from 160 to 120, and the overall stockpile from no more than 225 to no more than 180. 178. They would be carried in a 12-missile common missile compartment designed in collaboration with the use, which could accommodate the current Trident 2 D5 missile and any replacement missile once the D5 reaches the end of its expected life in the 2040s. 178. Expert opinion. 2 non-representative polls of experts from the RUSI and the Royal Institute of International Affairs, commonly known as Chatham House, were conducted in 2010. The RUSI found a majority for those who think the benefits of Trident outweigh the costs, 53%, compared to those that think the costs outweigh the benefits, 13%, or are evenly balanced, 34%. The Chatham House poll found a minority in favor of Trident replacement, 22%, with more in favor of replacing with a cheaper system, 43%, and 29% saying the UK should not replace Trident at all. 189. Public opinion. In April 2015, a YouGov poll found that 38% of people thought that Trident should be replaced in full. 28% wanted to replace it with a cheaper system, 19% thought the UK should completely give up its nuclear weapons, and 15% did not know. 190. In September 2015, a survey poll found that 29% agreed that Trident should be reformed to make it cheaper, 26% that it should be renewed in full, and 18% that it should be scrapped. 27% did not know. 191. Nuclear weapons are not the nation's biggest issue, with just 2% of people saying that it was nation's biggest worry in May 2015, compared to 21% in June 1987. 192. Dreadnought-class submarine. In February 2016, BAE Systems began design work on prototypes of the new submarines. 193. The successor class was officially named the Dreadnought class on the 21st of October 2016. 194. 176. The submarines were expected to become operational starting in 2028. With the current fleet phased out by 2032. 195. 196. In October 2015, Reuters estimated it would cost £167 billion over its 30-year lifespan, or £5.56 billion per year. This figure was disputed by Michael Fallon. 197. The Ministry of Defence put the cost of building, testing and commissioning the replacement vessels at £31 billion, plus a contingency fund of £10 billion. Over 35 years. This amounts to 0.2% of government spending, or 6% of defence spending. 1. Crispin Blunt, Chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, estimated in July 2016 that the programme would cost £179 billion in total over its lifetime. 198. For the 2018/19 financial year, the National Audit Office found that spending on the nuclear deterrent will cost £5.2 billion, or 14% of the defence budget, with £600 million of contingency funding used. Costs were projected at about £51 billion over the following 10 years, £2.9 billion above the projected budget, which already anticipated finding £3 billion of savings, which the Daily Telegraph described as a £6 billion shortfall.
Yes, let me just to split